Well, we spent too much time in Bend. No surprise there, we always do that.
And so we just finished grabbing groceries, gassed up, got some tequila for margaritas tonight, some more two towns, because why not? It's cider season, every day, all day.
And then we stopped by Thurin Fab to, they make the suspension on this truck, I'm sure most of you already know, and now the rear bumper. But I needed to get more nitro in the shocks. Hold on here. Sorry, I gotta wave at a guy, let me finally pass him.
So now we are officially back on the road, heading to our next destination. We've probably got about 4 hours, 4.5 hours worth of driving to do, so.
We're northeast of Prineville right now, headed north to Northeast Oregon. We're going to be close to the Idaho border. But yeah, we had to go to Thurin. We had to get more nitro in my shocks after doing those whoops and stuff today. I just realized my shocks were kind of working overtime. I was kind of bottoming out when I shouldn't have been. And it's just all a part of getting like the suspension and stuff dialed in. It's nothing wrong with the suspension itself as far as how it's made or anything by Thurin. You know, when you get these things and you know, they're really designed for just a truck that has a lift and like some 37s or 35s on it. Nothing's, you know, nothing crazy. I've got a bunch of extra stuff on it. So there's a process that it takes to get it dialed in and get it tuned right. And I'm still in the middle of that because obviously I've changed my truck a few times, but we put some more nitro in. I can already feel the difference. It's huge. I mean, like really big difference. I think we're up to like 280 in the shocks for nitro, which is quite a bit. So I've got to get my front axle trussed. I've already got the parts and everything for it. I got to find somebody to put it in. I'll deal with that when I get back. But we spent a lot of time there just shooting the poo and you know whatever else. And they're just Don and his staff are they're just good people. Andrew, Zeb, all of them.
2 days before the trip, I, along with Scott, installed my Evo lift kit along with my new wheel state shocks. Not ideal to do a big trip, especially after a huge install like that, but so far everything's been running great. Except one minor setback, which one of the bolts that holds the control arms, we didn't do a good job on tightening, or at least I didn't do a full check, and it was a little loose. I heard some rattling when we were out and about, so hopped in their truck, checked it out, and sure enough, that bolt was loose. So tightening it up, so far it's been okay, no problems at all. The only downside I'm having right now with these new 37s is the gas mileage is killing me. It is brutal. Before I was ranging 16-ish miles per gallon, now I'm at like between 9 and 10, so it takes a big toll. I've had to fill up so many times. Not even in my Ram I filled up this many times. So on the way to the campsite right now, all the scenery just reminds me a lot of like a mix between like if you're heading towards like Williams, Arizona and like Moab. Just all the trees, the hills, the colors of the rocks and the hills. It's gorgeous. You have like little plateaus. It's great.
So tonight we got about another 3 hours of drive. We're gonna get in at about 8 o'clock tonight. This is a beautiful drive. So we're gonna cruise in, kind of get into camp right at dusk, and we're gonna get a lot of star lapses and do some astrophotography tonight. And then tomorrow, because we only have a 2.5 hour drive to the next camp really, we're gonna kind of fart around. We're gonna, you know, I'm gonna wake up early so I can get the sunrise, but I think we're gonna do a day of micro content for our clients and our sponsors. And that just means we're gonna get a lot of little stuff for social media and little blips and ads and things like that and kind of knock those out.
So we're actually gonna take a little detour. We're gonna go check out the Painted Hills on our way out to our next camp spot. I haven't been out here since I was, oh shoot, I wanna say 5. It's been forever.
The Painted Hills is a geological site near John Day, Oregon. It's a part of 3 units that they call the John Day Fossil Beds, which is a national monument, along with Sheep Rock and Clarno. This thing was formed over 35 million years ago. It's pretty crazy with all the volcanic eruptions and ash from the Cascade Mountains, which is over 100 miles away. It landed here, and then over formation of years and the clay and wind and erosion, you get what you see right now. It's definitely something you'll want to check out and a part of the 7 Wonders of Oregon. Got stuff falling in the back already, sheesh. So we took a quick detour to the Painted Hills here in John Day. It's we're outside of John Day. They're absolutely beautiful. We're about an hour early. I would love to stay here and see this place in golden hour because it's absolutely beautiful. I've actually never been here where it's so green. So it was kind of cool to get like, you know, 3 or 4 colors. So I don't know. I was having some issues with my circular polarizer, so I don't know if my photos came out, but if they look good, I'll put some stills here. But yeah, I got just a little bit of footage. It is so windy. Whew. Just up the way where it's not a national park, we were gonna fly some drones where it's Painted Hills too, but this wind is insane. It's like 50+ mile-an-hour gusts. So I mean, I'm sure the drone would do okay, but I don't know how the footage would be. And really, we're burning daylight, as they say. So we're just going to actually take off. In all honesty, I've never done this drive during golden hour. It's absolutely stunning. The cliffs right before John Day coming out of the fossil beds to the vast rolling prairies out east. It makes this long drive somewhat less miserable. We didn't think we were going to be on the road this long.
It's 9:35 and we're still on the road. We're in the general area where Jeff kind of remembers where the campsite is, but he can't find it. I'm exhausted, Nate's exhausted. I'm sure Jeff is exhausted. We've been on the road all day. Yeah, we haven't even had food yet. Just like little snacks here and there. It's kind of part of the trip, I guess, you know, just fast pace, right? Probably once we get to camp, I'll just make a quick like soup or something. Follow the jet boil and just heat up some water, eat a soup, and maybe like knock out. I am exhausted. I feel like a moth right now.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like a moth just following Nate at the lights.
Oh, that's why the sign all f***ed up.
Finally, we found the bridge. Like an hour later. Whee!
Keep an eye peeled. Probably gonna see some wildlife up here.
Huh? Are you ready?
What?
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were ready or not. Oh, it is? Why? Oh, I was just saying put GoPros up.
I don't even know where to stick them.
So we made it up here, finally. Google sent us this weird direction. I have no clue why it did it. It didn't go the back way. I don't know, maybe it was faster or something instead of going like through Sumter and Granite. But we're here. I missed the road because the sign was all jacked up. And anyways, we're on the road. So now we're going up. We're way late, but it is what it is. We're putting GoPros on now, so we can at least get a little bit of footage before up here, make it somewhat watchable. So anyways, we'll keep you guys tuned in. But yeah, it's kind of exciting. It's cool. I haven't been up here since 2012, I believe. It's the last time I hunted this area and drove up here with the old gang. So we're gonna get some GoPros on, head out. you've ever had that moment where you don't remember the drive being as long as it was supposed to be, and you don't remember where some of the spots were because you've always showed up during the daytime, it can make times like these a little frustrating. On top of that, the wind is terrible. I was really hoping that we would be able to get a night on top of this rock with the incredible views, the opportunities for some star lapses. It was all just crushed by the high wind alert that we got driving here. Long dusty day on the trail. Nothing like getting all this stuff out, especially when you got to sleep in the back.
Fair enough, come here.
Thank you.
Ah, it's hot. Ah!
Oh my God.
I'd say the biggest challenge of the day was time.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we had a lot of time since we were up so early.
We just had a lot to do. I feel like that's always the last thing on our
It always
plate.
is, man. like earlier, I was getting all loopy. All those little pine bushes on the road, like on the main road. I'm like, oh, there's people. Oh, wait, no, never mind, it's a bush.
Oh, you mean the ones you kept thinking were rattlesnakes?
No, those were real rattlesnakes, dude. I swear they were rattlesnakes.
I kept seeing like little streaks in the asphalt.
Yeah,
that looked like.
No, they were leathery snakes.
I was excited about up top.
Yeah, it was nice, but it's way too windy, man. Way too windy. We would have hated it. We would have been in bed right now.
That was one of those like I wouldn't mind just like having somebody spot me and back my car up on the other side of the station tower, or on that cliff right there. Sleep there, just pop my hatch open in the morning, and just overlook that cliff. That would be cool.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow you guys can take a drive up there. I'm not gonna do it though. I'm already low on gas, like 120, 130. Surprisingly though, like when we filled up the last one, it gave me a range of like 280. I'm like, huh.
Well, your range will always go up when your speeds start dropping.
The next morning, we slept in. We were tired. Last night broke us. But when we woke up, we realized Christian had some issues on his fridge slide. He didn't mount the rib nuts correctly, so we had to fix it. And unfortunately, we had one bolt that was giving us some issues, so we did it the old-fashioned way and removed it at will. With a few repairs down, it's time to hit the road. We luckily don't have that long to travel today.
Okay, we get to the bottom here, back to pavement. I want to grab the GoPro.
Is very different because that's wild.
Nice. Yeah, after that trip there, it'll probably be the last of like the long trips that I can go on, just for the simple fact that taking 2 weeks off when I first started, they're not fussing about it, but they're like, hopefully you don't have any more big trips like this to take back to back. All you gotta tell them is, do you know who I am? I am a YouTube sensation.
This is not how you talk to an influencer.
Gorgeous drive out here. I'm driving into Baker City. It's incredibly green out here, so you know they got hit with a lot of snow, they got a lot of moisture. Again, I just remember like LeGrand, Baker City, John Day areas when I was a kid. I don't remember it being so greeny, but then again, it's probably been like a good 25, 30 years since I've been out this direction. So to see it as green as it is actually really nice. And then to see like, here we're in like middle of May, almost June, and we still got, the mountains still have a ton of snow on them. So it's really cool to see that much snow out here, which typically, I don't know if you really see that much snow out here or not. I just know being in the Willamette Valley area, like Mount Hood, things like that, you don't typically get a lot of late snow like that. You do, it's very minimal. But these guys got blasted. They just recently got blasted too, so kind of cool to see it. It's different. It's a refresher for me.
Just left Baker City. We had to grab a couple things at a hardware store. I needed a tub because I had a bunch of loose stuff in the back. It just wasn't organized to how I like it. I like to have it clean, storage, you know, things like that. It was just driving me nuts. We had to get gas, a couple more things for tonight, and now we are headed up into the mountains, and we're going to be kind of staying close between the we'll be staying kind of close to the Idaho border, Hell's Canyon, right across from Hell's Canyon. It's going to be beautiful. It's probably going to be cold. So we're going to go explore around up in the mountains. We got some time. We're going to try to find some spots to go fishing. I'm going to pass this guy.
You know it's windy when that hawk is struggling.
Yeah, it's also super windy. We haven't been able to fly the drone at all. And it's really windy here. So I'm hoping getting up into the mountains, which, holy cow, wait till you see this view. We're going to be up near the Eagle Cap Wilderness. But yeah, it's time management. We're hoping it's going to be better and the wind is going to be better. Remember the little ass town we're in or near it. Hello. Anyways, we're airing down bumpy ass road, drop offs on the left side, but yeah, we should be heading out here, or we're heading up to a place that I've been to a few times. Take these guys to some places that they've never been before, and then I think I'm going to try to explore a couple places I've never been, and yeah, new stuff, man. So we're gonna air down, get out of here. Well, that didn't go according to plan. Tried a trail that, believe it or not, Google suggested, so I looked it up and it showed that it was a forest road. So I got onto Onyx and looked and saw that it was a forest road. But then we started kind of going through these weird little neighborhoods, like shanties. I mean, yard art everywhere, but which is pretty common in some small towns. But anyways, it started taking us up this kind of gnarly road. And we aired down, as you saw, but then the road started getting crappier, and then all of a sudden the Onyx app updated and didn't know where we were, and then I looked at it again and the road goes into private land and looked like there was a gate. So I hopped onto Google Earth real quick, and sure enough, there's a gate. It just didn't look promising enough for us to really go any further, especially since it's just a sheer drop off on the left. So we found a place where we could turn around. We turned around real quick, and now we're going down the road that I've been down before, but I was like, let's try something new. Yeah, how about that time management, eh? We were once again killed by time management. But on top of that, we did not expect the snow line to be so low. We're talking less than 5,500 feet in elevation. We drove up near the Eagle Cap Wilderness and were stopped immediately. We tried to go through several parts. We didn't film any of it and just decided to give up. I knew of one more spot that was kind of a last chance effort, and we had no clue the views we were about to see. With the Hells Canyon peaks in front of us, the Eagle Caps behind us, and the Blue Mountains in the distant south, we are surrounded by absolute sheer beauty. Snow-capped ridges, clear skies, green fields. This is basically a photographer's dream. That's a bitch. Does it just smell like melon?
You got your hose for this?
Are you running a mic on that or no? You still leave it? Yes. Oh yeah, he's got some in there. Sorry, I'm doing Elon Musk thing still. That's fine. The night was long. We got to camp at a somewhat reasonable time, but the winds were relentless, and it's cold wind. It's coming off the snow mountains up on the Eagle Caps. After setting up the awning and the walls, we were still getting wind whipped. We couldn't have a fire, so staying warm was somewhat difficult. We've all been there before. This is nothing new. It was time for Nate to make his awesome teriyaki chicken. We just tried to stay warm. Tonight was about time lapses, taking some good low light shots, and trying to figure out the rest of this trip, which has not been easy. We're chasing locations. But we're headed south to fish and go see the Owyhees. Let's go.